Okay, let's welcome in our good friend Andrew Astleford from SEC Country. We've known Andrew a long time, and Andrew, thanks for the time. And we thought on this final day that we're on that SEC Country, I guess it publishes through tomorrow. We wanted to honor the website and our friends there because it's not easy, and we've had some communications. And I say hello to you before we get too deep in the weeds. How are you?
I'm doing all right, Paul. Thank you so much. Well, it's really nice words you have to say there about our website. It was really special to be a part of the last 2 years, for me anyway, just to see something that was built kind of from the ground up and how far we came in that time. It would have been fun to see where it could have gone had we been able to go a little further, but I'll leave with nothing but great memories and an awesome time with a lot of fun people.
And I know that you're a bright young reporter, and actually a friend of mine has been talking to you, and others are as well. But when you find out something like that, and we all have dealt with it. Being I was formerly in the newspaper business, now I'm in this business, which you see a lot of ups and downs. What happens? I mean, how do you deal with this type of adversity?
It's really tough. Unfortunately, this isn't my first experience with it. I was a part of Fox Sports when they went through some changes a few years ago, and I guess this made this one easier, if there is such a thing. I mean, it's one of those things where you're just mentally prepared, I guess, at this point, sadly. When something like this happens, you just learn to take each day and be thankful for it when you have a job and do your best in the process. And yeah, I mean, that's just kind of the lesson I've taken with the modern media landscape. You just try to do the best you can in the moment and hope it lasts a while. But like I said, I'll just take a ton of great memories with a lot of good mentors and coworkers, and I'll never forget my time with SEC Country for sure.
Andrew, I don't pretend to understand your business. But it just, I do wonder, though, with a subject like the SEC, seems pretty rich and fertile, what was the explanation of why this is not going to continue?
It's one of those things where they just wanted to move their assets into different areas, and you've got to understand that from a business perspective. It's just one of those things where people way above my pay grade
sure.
Just want to make a strategic decision and go elsewhere. So, that doesn't take away from what we were accomplishing, of course. We did a lot of great things, and we're growing in a lot of different ways. And, it's really fun to see the difference from August 2016 when I joined up until the current point. We grew a lot in video, and on the editorial side, we had great beat writers out there doing original reporting. I was part of a breaking news team with amazing coworkers who, had the privilege of covering Paul Finebaum opinions and elsewhere. That was kind of fun. So, yeah, we did a lot of different things, and, it was a pretty diverse, versatile operation, and it was a lot of fun to be a part of.
We were joking one day, John Hayes and Mark and I, that it seems like I'm quoted more in this SEC Country than I am coming off of the program that I do every day. So naturally, we gravitated toward the site. I am interested, though, and I know there's always a lot of ups and downs with any job, but I would like to. We talked a little bit about the reality, but in terms of what you leave behind in the memories, maybe share with us some of the highlights, the days that were maybe a slightly elevated notch above the other.
Yeah, well, of course, game days, obviously. My shift would start early in the morning for College Game Day there on ESPN, and we would search for content there during College Game Day, and people like you said, and elsewhere, and then, of course, going throughout the day with the actual games being played, there'd be certain things that'd pop up. So just a game day in itself is such a rush. Of course, the SEC is another level of excitement, so that was a lot of fun to be immersed in that for about 12 hours during a shift each Saturday. It was a lot of fun. But also you had crazy days. Like, I still remember the night Hugh Freeze departed Ole Miss. I was about ready to get off of work. Yeah. Get off of work, and all of a sudden all that went down, and it made for a memorable night. So nights like that stick out as well. So it's
Andrew, stop right there. I will tell you, as we get into July, that night, same here. I've never seen anything quite like it because we were a week removed from media days, and everything was fairly quiet, and all of a sudden. About 7:30 Eastern time, that story broke, and man, was it an explosion.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, and I remember just being kind of stressed when it happened, and all of a sudden I stepped back and what is going on? It's unreal. I mean, you just kind of go through your job and you're confident in what you're doing, but when you step back and leave that moment, it sure leaves an imprint on you for sure. So, the SEC, there's nothing like going through the Tennessee situation last year, Butch Jones, Greg Schiano, all that stuff. I mean, moments like that just kind of leave a mark on you, and whatever I do next, I'll never forget stuff like that. I'll take an appreciation for, of course, everyone I worked with, but also the SEC fans and just the SEC football culture and how unique it can be compared to maybe other areas of the country and other conferences out there. So, quite an experience. I'm better off for it, for sure.
I'm really interested because I have a lot of friends do what you have done, and being of a different generation where I worked at a newspaper, it just seems so archaic and antiquated now. But in terms of what you and your colleagues at SEC Country learned, especially with young people, millennials, maybe even younger, what are they looking for? How are they consuming all of this information that we try to provide?
It's really interesting. I found myself evolving. I'm fairly young, but I worked with a lot of younger people than me, too, so it's interesting to see what they're doing now, too. I entered journalism school. I went to Mizzou, wanting to be a long-form newspaper writer. I read kind of the Kansas City Star growing up, and they had Joe Posanski there, Wright Thompson, people like that, and kind of fell in love with the business reading them growing up. Then, of course, you kind of get into your professional life and kind of fit the mold of various roles you take along the way and learn different things. But now, it's definitely instant, in the moment. You got to produce. There's a feverish appetite for content out there, especially among SEC football fans and college football fans and sports fans in general. So I don't think that appetite will ever go away, but the way things are kind of produced now and consumed, I think, are a lot different than even 10 years ago when I was in college. So it's really fascinating to see. I'm curious to see what it will be like in 5 years from now. I don't think it's even possible to predict what the media landscape will be like, but I've learned a lot these last few years, and like I said, it was a blast covering the SEC, and it was a really special time working with some great people at SEC Country.
Well, I'll tell you what, Andrew, it's been a pleasure getting to know you. We're going to talk to a couple of other of your colleagues. Please let us know. I know we've had some private communications because we've gotten to know each other, but we certainly hope you and all of your friends land and keep covering the SEC the way you always have.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it a lot, Paul. I have to tell one story. I appeared on your show once before during SEC Media Days last year in the Mr. Irrelevant. I think you got the back of my head. With
oh, my goodness.
The media. So,
that is, for those who have never been, and by the way, I don't know how many people actually get that late into the show. We do the final day of media days. I mean, everybody's gone, and we're still there at 7 o'clock, and we do this every year, who the last reporter is in the media room. Well, Andrew, thanks again. We really appreciate it, and we hope to talk to you very, very soon.
You bet. Thank you so much, Paul. Have a great one.